All right, so secret treaty system, or the treaty system, is one of the main causes of the war, and I want you to see how. The best way to do that is just see how this sort of folds out. So we need two sides. So you're going to make a T-chart. Nothing particularly fancy with your T-chart, right? And then up here, we'll make the Entente, or the Allies. And over here, it's the Central Powers. And we are ready, right? So, war starts. How does it start? Franz Ferdinand is killed. Franz Ferdinand is Austria-Hungary. So the Austro-Hungary Empire sits here. And they blame Serbia. Some justification that Serbia may not have actually ordered the killing. They supported the people who did. And so Serbia is here. Now Serbia has a secret treaty. Serbia's secret treaty is with a country called Montenegro, which is a tiny little country. Right? So if you're like, you saying up, you're going to show up for a fight, you're going to get your brother, and you show up with, your 6-year-old brother. So that's the second one. All right. Turns out that Serbia has a secret treaty with a country, a big country, Russia. So Austria-Hungary has a treaty with Germany, which says if Russia declares war on you, we'll declare war on Russia. Germany has a plan. It's called the von Schlieffen plan. So you remember, Germany sits sort of here, Russia's on their eastern border, France is on their western border, and Germany's military believed that Russia and France has a treaty. They do, but France not necessarily going to actually follow it. But the German plan is to invade France. They believe they can knock France out of the war. They'd beaten France 40 years earlier, so they thought they could just hold on the Eastern Front against Russia, make this sweeping attack into France, and knock France out of the war, and then move their armies and take on Russia. So Germany is going to mobilize against France. France freaks out and gets ready for war. But France had fortified the border between them and Germany, and the Germans didn't want to go that way. They said it's a lot easier if they go through Belgium. The problem is that when they attack Belgium, Belgium has a treaty, which isn't secret, existed in 1814, with Britain. So Great Britain is here. So when Germany invades Belgium, Britain gets in the war. But it's not just Britain. Remember, Britain has an empire, right? It's also Canada and Australia and India and South Africa and New Zealand and Newfoundland and whoever else you want to put down here. It's part of Egypt, part of the British Empire. So it's starting to look one-sided. Then we come to Italy. Italy's got a problem because Italy has a treaty with Germany that says if you go to war, we'll come help you, but they also have a treaty with France saying the same thing. So it's like Italy's BFFs are fighting. So Italy sort of sits out for about a year. And then they decide they think the Allies are going to win, and what ends up happening is France and Britain promise Italy chunks of Austria-Hungary should they win the war. And so Italy joins the Allies. Germany finally gets another friend. The Ottoman Empire, or Turkey, they're untrusting of the Brits, so they get in the war. But Britain has another friend called Japan, who sees a chance to pick off these German colonies in the Pacific. So they're in, right? And then the Ottoman Empire has an enemy, is Greece. So whoever is fighting the Ottomans, the Greeks are on your side. So the Greeks have another enemy, who actually is Bulgaria. Bulgaria don't like Turkey. They don't like Greece, but in the end, they joined the Central Powers because they want to take over parts of Greece and parts of Romania. So Romania ends up fearing they're going to be attacked, and they join in. All right, so it's really one-sided. And then eventually, because of the stuff we're going to talk about in a little bit, the United States joins in. So you got all of these countries on the Allied side, just these on the Central Power side. Yeah, that's the treaty. So the fact that they didn't know about some of these treaties, so they didn't know the consequences of what they were doing, or the fact that they believed other countries may have had secret treaties that ended up not existing, all created this. So that's the secret treaties.